Hello, everyone. It is €3 and $1, and we are back again. And
Excuse me. Sorry. Restart.
no, we're just rolling with it. We are here to talk about the Game Awards, which happened last night. Lots of new games have been shown off, but everybody's complaining about the really short amount of time that people got to accept their awards, which has been quite funny to read on social media. I do feel like they did rush them off the stage a bit too quickly. Would you agree with that?
I'm waiting for my introduction.
The people already know who you are.
No. Well, I didn't watch it, so I can't say.
Me and Koshi watched it together.
We did. We held hands. We were cuddling under a blanket.
That's true. Yeah. We had hot chocolate.
All true things.
The band or just the drink?
Like they did the whole like hurry off the stage as a joke for the first time, and then they just kind of like did it for everybody. And it felt a bit awkward at times. I feel like they could have spent a little bit longer letting people accept their awards instead of rushing them off.
Personally, I didn't think it was that bad. I think people were just being a bit too sensitive about it.
I looking back at it, I do remember feeling like they were rushed a bit. Like it did feel a bit awkward at times that they were already playing the music over the top of them.
Because they don't shut up.
But they weren't on the. It was like what 30 seconds they were on the stage, and then they started.
That's plenty. That's plenty.
It's not.
Look at watch the Oscars. Like they get like.
But this isn't the Oscars.
No, I know, but you have to have a comparison. And the Oscars and other shows like the Golden Globes and such, they only get a certain amount of time, and they're warned, and they are repeatedly ignoring that warning. Look what happened to Christopher Judge last year. He talked for almost 8 fucking minutes.
And yes, that is over the top, but I still feel like 30 seconds is a bit short.
Maybe it's a bit short. Maybe they could have went for like a minute and a half.
Like a minute and a half probably.
But if you're
good.
told ahead of time, it's going to be 30 seconds.
Like I get that, but some of the people
make it 30
native.
seconds. Don't sit there and talk about your day and the thing that you did and what you had for breakfast this morning. Say thank you to the people who helped you and move the fuck on.
I get that, but when it's like non-native English speakers on the stage, you should really give them a little bit of extra time.
I agree. I do agree with that. I do
think that it would have been nice to have a little bit extra time for the devs to like not just thank the people who made the game, but also maybe like slip in a little bit of like what they're working on or their future stuff or what they're just give a little bit of insight into what's going on with them and games they're working on. I mean, like maybe but we'll never know, will we? They weren't given the opportunity.
Well, I mean, they're given the opportunity every day. If they wanted to announce what they're going to be working on, they're going to tell it to Twitter or they're going to tell it to some publication that's online.
Well, sure, but this is like all eyes on one event. This would have been the place to do it.
Well, then they would have to have the okay, I guess, I assume from, everybody involved that they're ready to show what they have. There's a reason why everyone's so secret. Now, I get what you're saying, and that would be kind of cool, but I also think at the same time, like if it's a video game that you don't care about or a developer that you're not interested in, that's just fluff. And you're already you got X amount of the audience already going, come on, let's go, get the guy off stage, let's see what's next. Come on. Like you got to kind of be fair to everybody. What?
The old Monty Python from the Holy God. Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Yeah, like I just felt like a little bit of extra time would have been nice.
We give you a little extra time.
And I do agree with people saying that there was a lot of awards that were given out that didn't get anybody up for accepting them. Like they just kind of rolled them through. And I know they're like meant to be like, oh well, just like the big awards are the ones that get the acceptance speeches, but I feel like that kind of overlooks a lot of aspects of game development by just kind of
So they
skimming
were
over
like
some of them.
literally just not able to show up.
No. They didn't get a chance to like accept any awards. It was just like
No. Don't say that. Don't say that. You make it sound like they were told, no, you're not coming up on stage. We don't want to hear from you. Sit the fuck down. It wasn't like that at all. We don't know. We don't know what was going on behind the scenes. Everyone's speculating, and everyone's a professional
I'm talking about
when it comes to the Game Awards.
I'm talking about the. Do you know when he like Jeff Keighley goes, and then we've got some more awards, and then he'll like list off like he'll go through like a list of like 5 of them after one after the other.
Yeah, well, there might be reasons behind that we don't know, that we're not privy to. But what amazes me is that the audience sits there and is like, oh, they don't want the people coming, or they just start making excuses to explain why Jeff Keighley's doing that. Let's be realistic here. All right, here's where the logic that I always talk about comes in. Jeff Keighley is trying to build the Game Awards. Next year is the 10th anniversary, all right? And it's still considered by a lot of people, not everybody, but by a lot of people, as a joke. All right. Now, the thing that gets people tuning in,
would you still,
despite the fact,
would you honestly think it's still considered a bit of a gimmick though? I think I think it's already turned at this point.
I mean, I think he's gotten to the point where what he's doing is legit, but the audience still isn't there, because we don't view game developers like we view movie directors like Spielberg and
I think
such.
after the death of E3, I think once E3 kind of killed itself, I think that is when people started to actually take the Game Awards a bit more serious.
I think it's taken a bit more seriously, but most people just don't care.
That's what the problem is.
And B, I think if they now that's to pay the bills, so we're kind of, but now that they are, even if they are taken a bit more serious, it's still, let's see what trailers show up. Not, oh, I wonder who's gonna win.
I mean, there is an element to that, but I think Gannon hit the nail on the head. As time goes by, people are unironically caring about who's winning, despite the fact that they still see it as a joke. I mean, there was like everyone, like everything I saw yesterday, everyone wanted specific games to win. We're getting to that point now where, like me, for example, I wanted Alan Wake to win, but I knew the safe bet was Baldur's Gate 3. All right. And I was getting worked up about it because I was not worked up like I'm foaming at the mouth, but like, although I was actually, if you ask Gannon.
Yeah, he was freaking the.
But like, it's like the same thing when you have like the Oscars, like the best picture. You know, people had a film that they watched that year that was nominated that they really enjoyed, and they feel like that should be the winner. So if that's the one that's chosen as the winner, they get excited, they get happy about it, and I was like, yeah, I watched it, it deserved it.
Yeah, like there's an element of you get invested in a game and you feel, I don't know if connection to the devs really fits it, but you know what I mean. Like you feel a gratitude towards the devs and the effort they've put in, and you want them to be recognized and duly rewarded for that effort that they've created, that they've put into creating something that you personally really enjoyed, like as an art medium. So when, like you say, when you're sitting watching the awards, you want these people to get the awards because you feel it's at least some small part of like thanks to the people who are creating these things, these entertainments that we are consuming.
Yeah. I think if Steam took their award serious, that would be. But then you get excluded from exclusives. But that would kind of be the big one where regular people actually care.
Yeah.
Not that they don't care right now, but they get invested, but not to the point where it's like, oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, moving on. Like,
well,
or sometimes with some exceptions where it's like, oh, that's bullshit. But unless it's like bullshit, it's like, okay, yeah, fine, and then they move on.
Well, the point that I'm getting to is that while E3, while the Game Awards have been getting a little more respectable each year, and while people still make fun of it, they're still the same people that are tuning in and watching it and rooting for a specific game or two. But when you're looking at like the time thing. I think they're still trying to get the schedules down because every year they're giving basically to get people to watch. Getting them to watch is the premieres. That is the golden ticket.
Yeah, and I feel like Jeff Keighley needs to be careful because I feel like if he starts giving too much attention to companies wanting to show that sort of stuff, he's gonna run into the same problem E3 ran into. I think he needs to find the right balance, and I don't think it's quite there yet. And I'm just hoping
I would agree.
I'm hoping that next year doesn't go even further in this like corporate direction, the corporate favoritism. Because
I think the problem is for people to take it seriously, they have to get rid of the trailers, because if he wants it to be like the Oscars, but you don't say, "Hey, this new movie's coming up during the Oscars," so that makes
I feel like
it.
they gave up on that because this year they were just having fun and doing their thing. They weren't trying to be all. What's the word I'm looking for? They weren't trying to be super like prestigious or like everyone was walking on
I think he's
roses.
definitely finding his own thing, and it's definitely a lot better than what it used to be. But I just feel like the recognition from the regular crowd isn't there yet.
No, it's not. But what gets them to tune in, even though the fact that they're making fun of it the entire time, what gets them to tune in is those game trailers. So those game trailers, here we come back around to the schedule and the scheduling and why certain awards don't get, the full proper treatment is because until he finds that one good balance between, giving the fans what they want, but getting the fans interested in the awards too, he's going to have to pay them. He's going to have to essentially pay them off by getting them to watch the trailers. The trailers are going to take precedence over the awards.
See,
so if that's the problem. That's why they're skipping best RPG, best best that, because what people are tuning in for is not that. They're tuning in for whoever is the best game of the year. It doesn't matter if it's an RPG or not, and they're tuning in for the trailers.
But at the same time, and I definitely get your point. So it's not so much a disagreement versus a counterpoint. If you're gonna have an award, have the people come say thanks on stage. What's the point of getting an award if you're not able to give thanks, especially if you're there in the audience?
Well, yeah, but that goes back to what I just said. I mean, because if there's no point in having them come up on stage and say thank you for the award if nobody's watching, right?
Yes, but no, but that also just means it isn't getting serious, because if half of your awards, I don't know, I'm just just making that number up because I didn't watch it, but don't even
No, you're right. It was about half, if not more.
Don't get to come up on stage, then
it was 47 minutes dedicated out of the entire show towards people accepting awards. The rest was
3 hours.
3 hours, and the rest was game trailers.
That is definitely too much.
That's
but
that's
he needs.
what I'm saying.
It's not a situation that I envy him in, because he
clearly need money.
to get paid. Yeah. So, but
on the other hand, it's also one thing to point out. That does seem like a small number, 47 minutes for an award show out of 3 hours dedicated to said awards. But if you think about it, if they were to just like go from award to award, they would be done in half an hour. Or an hour if they gave everyone 30 seconds to a minute to talk.
Perfect.
No, not perfect.
Oh, no one would watch that.
I think it's great that they've got the trailers there. I am definitely for both the awards and the trailers. And I think,
watch it.
Like, the trailers being there, it does give an air of legitimacy to the whole thing, because as much as I hate to admit it, but it is true, the big companies being interested in showing off their brand new, like, this is the first time you'll ever see this at the Game Awards, like, that is a big deal. That does give it does make it seem more important, the whole show.
I feel if I was, what is it, Jeff Keighley or something like that, right?
Yeah, Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
If I was him, and this isn't counting budget or anything like that, because he has his summer game fest. Use the summer game fest or do a second one here where you have like before the awards, like a day before the awards, you have like people showing off stuff, you have booths and everything like that. Or at least like, where or live streams, stuff like that, where you can come out like the old ways in E3, where you can come off and show stuff. Then you have the awards. Maybe show a couple of trailers, fine, but keep that strictly like this is mostly about the rewards, and it's another stream where you can come and every award gets to come and say thank you for what was it, a minute and 30 that you two agreed on would be a good time, and then the day after you can have another one with, hey, here's even more trailers. You make it like a 2-day 3-day event. Boom, that's it. It's kind of like WrestleMania with a where not I haven't watched it in ages, but I listen to podcasts about people that watching. You have the first day you have the Hall of Fame inductions, which is kind of like their big event before WrestleMania, and then you have the big show, not the wrestler, but and you kind of do it reverse. You have like show and tell and all of that, and here's what we're working on. The next day you have the big show is the awards, and then or just an after stream where you show up, where you show off even more, where all the devs turn up and show
I
more.
would kind of agree with that. I think because it's a event that happens once per year, so they have a lot of time to prep for it. They could definitely do like a 2-day event instead of just the 3-hour slot that they've got.
Just do it at the summer game, but obviously that doesn't fit because game of the year, so it's kind of not the right time. But either have a second
I still think it should
quote
be the
unquote
same
summer
time of the
fest.
year. I just think
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
just saying
the
do
Game
something like
Awards.
that.
I just think the Game Awards as itself should be a 2-day event, with the first day being the showing off of like all the new stuff, and then have the Game Awards section on the second day, which is giving awards and giving plenty of time for people to talk about the projects they've been working on, or like that sort of like non-visual reveals, or even
Make it
just like
a little.
devs could come on stage and say, hey, you saw the trailer for this yesterday. Let me talk about it for like a couple of minutes.
Like Jeff Keighley, he gets an award. Oh, this one. Oh, by the way, if you're interested, let's say that publisher. If you're interested, that publisher will show a new trailer tomorrow at the showcase of this game or their thingy. Boom, and you do that during, so people know. Oh, tomorrow. So they watch the Game Awards to find out what is going to be discussed the next day. So you kind of keep it on the wrap. What will be shown during those events, and then during the Game Awards, you find out what might be shown the day after, or post stream kind of thing of the actual awards.
Yeah,
that's how I would do it if I had unlimited budget and just
I do feel like the main issue that we're all agreeing on here is that there just isn't
I'm not
enough
agreeing
time.
for shit.
There just isn't enough time.
I'm not agreeing
3
for
hours.
shit.
3 hours.
Let me tell you why what you
enough.
guys are saying is completely unrealistic.
Okay.
All right. Let me tell you why. Because here in the real world, all right, you have majority of the people that are coming to the Game Awards are Asian. All right, we have a lot of Japanese people that are coming over. We had Kojima coming in. We had Capcom coming in. We had Sega coming in. We had a lot of these different, people that are not from the United States. We had Finland coming in for Alan Wake. We had Larian Studios coming in from. All right, these are people who cannot normally have the time to spend 2-3 days in LA when they have a game that's ongoing at the moment. All right. Now, sure, not everyone has a game that's ongoing at the moment, but if you have put out a game, all right, in the year that the Game Awards are out, chances are you're probably going to be doing something back at the office. And so coming out for 2 or 3 days already just taking into account landing, getting your luggage, getting the hotel room, that can take almost half a day right there. All right. Then they have to go to an award show. All right. Now, if the trailers aren't playing like Funky suggested and Gannon agreed to, you've already lost like almost 80% currently. You've lost 80% of your audience. Now you're already devaluing the award because if no one's actually watching who's winning the award, they would rather just wait and read it next day on IGN.
Ew.
Then the developers aren't going to want to make that 12-hour plane trip across the world to LA to go to those game awards because nobody's watching it in the first place.
But you make it because here's my counterpoint to this. You
Counterpoint.
make like you love the E3 bullshit.
I do, yes.
You make it like
What do
that.
you mean bullshit?
I was just he really fucking loaded that one up.
Well, clearly with bullshit I mean it's bullshit.
Oh, it was clear. It was clear.
I thought it was self-explanatory.
Oh, it was clear. I had no problem understanding.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But you make it an event like so it becomes known as an event like that. That also has the game awards, so people tune in for like the direct stuff and all of that. So you kind of through the years make it known as that it's like a second Summerfest or the big E3 or the Summerfest is
Yeah,
kind of the
that
thing.
doesn't fix the problem with the awards themselves, though. Because no one's going to tune in for the awards; they're just going to watch the direct for the trailers.
Yeah, but
And then what?
you make that means because they will have to pay to be shown on those streams, so he gets the money, and from that money he can use that to have the game awards and have it have some more prestige. So it's it helps him out as well. And shit, I forgot the second point I was gonna make, so never mind on the second point.
Well, I'm not trying to attack you or anything, but like you
No,
make
no,
it
no,
sound
no,
so
no.
simple. Like where does he get the money
No.
from? Who's paying for the plane ticket for Capcom to fly from Japan all the way to America to LA?
Well, not you send people. You don't send like sorry, but
Well, yeah, you
if you're
send people, you send the developers.
yeah, but if your company is that fucked that it can't run without their game devs, especially in the world we live in today with Zoom and just like having the ability to always be online and just call somebody. If that means your entire team is crumbling because you're not
No,
there for 3 days,
no,
then you're
no,
doing something wrong.
no. That's not it at all. It has nothing to do with it. What I'm trying to tell you is it's devaluing the point of the award. Why would Capcom give a shit in the first place? Of course, they can afford a plane ticket for 3 or 4 people and a couple interpreters to fly halfway around the world to LA. Of course, they can afford that. Why would they want to if no one's going to watch them win the award in the first place?
Because they get to show off their other games during the other part of the event that
Why?
people
Because
care about.
they can just phone that in literally.
Okay.
Dial up the 2400 baud modem and send that that new trailer right across for Jeff Keighley to do
Okay, so
on
maybe
the day before, and they just saved themselves a 9-hour plane ride.
So maybe not a 2-day event. What about just 4 hours instead of 3 hours?
3 hours already was ridiculous.
I felt it was over too quickly. I genuinely think 4 hours would
Really?
probably feel better. Yeah, I felt like it was barely any of a. It felt like it flew by.
God, you're worse than Koshi.
What does that mean?
that he's loving the E3 bullshit.
Well, yeah, but it's not like it was all trailers though. I mean, there was a lot of awards and
I'm
hey,
saying, like-
when Alan Wake is not winning, I don't want to watch. All right.
I feel like if they added an extra hour, they wouldn't have to rush things along. I feel the whole awards, like entirety of it, felt very rushed. Like they were constrained for time. I feel like if they just had 4 hours instead of 3 hours, they would feel less stress about it, and they'd be able to
get
give more time.
I mean, even the Oscars gets shit for running 3 hours. I mean,
Yeah,
I think no matter what trailers you have.
Think about the people who watch the Oscars and the people who attend them.
Well, I watch the Oscars.
Of course you do.
And I get bored.
Well, rightfully so.
But I mean, okay. Last night, I remember I was watching on YouTube
I
because
gave
Twitch was
you my
fucking up.
heart.
I was watching Co Carnage and Ezekiel and
The other guy.
It Me JP or whatever.
Yeah. The good guy.
Yeah, and even they were getting tired. Even though Co Carnage couldn't shut up about the trailers that were playing. Oh, I gotta wish list this right now. Oh, why isn't it coming up yet? I gotta wish list it right now. Why isn't it coming up yet? You know, even he was getting tired of it being like, oh my God, is this still going on? Have we
No,
not
yeah,
got to
no.
the game of the year yet? It's like,
Yeah, but they're content hounds, so of course they're gonna rush things along.
dude,
Yeah, but
he had
4 hours.
15,000
Jesus
people
fucking
watching
Christ.
him. I don't think he cared about content at that point. I think he was tired and wanted to go to bed because it wasn't
What a
done in the
loser.
middle of the day. It was done at night. Americans in America, it was like it didn't end until like almost 9 o'clock at night.
Boo-hoo, the Americans who had to watch it at night. What about the Euro people? I was up till bloody 5 a.m. watching it.
That's because you don't have a job. You don't have a schedule. You sleep when you want to sleep and you get up
Exactly,
when you
which
want to
means
get
that
up.
European people wouldn't have been able to watch it at all
No,
if they do.
you. If they had shown it during the day, Americans and Europeans would have been able to watch it because Europeans would have been able to watch it at night before going to bed, and Americans would have been able to watch it during the day. Both win.
Yeah,
Now they
that's
play it
what I'm
at
saying.
night. Americans watch it, right? Americans watch it, but Europeans are sleeping.
Yes, that is my
And
point. I'm not arguing with you on that one.
I'm sorry.
Well, what are you saying then?
Saying that you were complaining about it, you had to stay up and watch it at night. It's like, well, the European didn't get to watch it at all.
I didn't say that. I said that's not what I said at all.
Like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, I said
No,
boo-hoo.
what I said was that it was just running late because it's running until the middle of the night. Well, not middle of the night. And you're like, well, I stay up till like 6 in the morning. Well, it's because you don't have a fucking job. You don't do anything right now. You don't have the schedules that these other people have. If I had to work tomorrow, if I had to work, which I start at 3 in the morning,
Bushy,
I would have had
am
to
not
miss
arguing
half
that point. I'm
fucking-
agreeing with you. I'm saying that
No,
the
you're
ones that
not.
was on were too. It was
You
too
are not.
late. It was too fucking
Because
late.
you're talking about Europeans in general. I'm talking about you.
This what? Shut up. Move on. You're such dumbass. Seriously.
You say that, but was not your defense? Was your defense not? Oh, I stay up till 6 a.m. Did you not say that? Did you not say that?
Because you.
Hello, is this thing on? Is this thing
Because
on?
you complained
Hello? Did you
about
say
having
that?
to watch it
Did
at
you say
night.
that? Did
But I am
you
agreeing
say that?
that
Yes
it is
or
too
no?
late.
Yes or
It was two
no?
different points, you
It's a
dumb
simple
motherfucker.
question. Yes
Move on.
or
God damn.
no?
He's
Yes or
Mr.
no?
fucking Logic over here.
Yes or no? See, this is why I say this, because when I catch him in something like this, he
You
tries
didn't
to
catch
flip
me
it
on
around on
anything.
me. I just asked you a simple question, and you still haven't answered me.
What
Yes
didn't I
or
answer?
no?
You know what?
What is
Can
it?
I be honest? This discussion is the most fun I've had about the Game Awards ever.
Hey, you're welcome.
Let's talk about the games. Jesus Christ.
I am being a little shit, I know, but fuck, what was my point? I don't remember. Moving
I
on.
don't know.
All right,
Just
let's
move on.
I'm-
All right.
there's-
I want to
you
talk
were
about the
talking
games
about
for
time
Christ's
zones.
sake. No, we weren't. We're talking about the games
what?
and the some of the trailers that they've shown. So,
The important part.
one of the first ones that at least I remember was Exodus, which you said is from the ex-Bioware devs.
Yes, well, that's what I was told on stream.
Okay.
That's by ex-BioWare devs, and it's basically like kind of a reimagining of Mass Effect,
Okay.
which is why you saw kind of a bit of Mass Effect flavor in it. The way the combat works and, being like in spacesuits running around on different planets.
Hmm.
I know it's vague, but
See, I
get what you mean.
it's a reveal trailer, so it doesn't really show much to really go on.
yeah, it didn't show any gameplay till like the last 20 seconds of the trailer.
Hey, that's better
Yeah.
than some of it.
Like,
I
I mean, I'm a huge sci-fi fan, so like, I hope it's good, and I hope it's something that's in the same vein as Mass Effect.
So huge that you don't watch Star Trek.
I just think the first enemy that was revealed looked a bit goofy.
A lot of them did.
Yeah. So
and-
like, I wasn't too impressed with the look of the villains, but it's a sci-fi game, so it could, it could be good.
looks-
I'm
Go
still
on, Chris.
interested, but I need to see more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. Yeah.
I'm interested to see more.
It looked very generic, but not necessarily in a bad way. Just like it wasn't anything fresh. I'm still interested to see where it's going, but it's like it
Yeah, I would
felt
agree with that.
it felt familiar, but just kind of like been here before. So what makes this different than Mass Effect? Or
I
kind
would
of
agree with that. In fact, I think I said that same thing again when we were watching it. Was it looked like generic the game or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like people say it a lot, like it's a negative thing, and it usually kind of is a negative. But it's not always. And I feel like in this case, it's not bad. It's just like it doesn't hook you in. Like for a lot of people, when they saw Anthem, give or take what I was, but people got excited for the way it looked and all of that. And with this, it's just like, seen this before,
Yeah. I mean, it's very much a new Mass Effect game that isn't Mass Effect in
Yeah.
name. It's
Which
even got
isn't
like
necessarily bad, but
the space powers and things like that. So, which is kind of
Yeah.
like the biotic stuff from Mass Effect. I can see like the influence that the Mass Effect devs have into this. It's clearly got its own take. But hell, even if it is just another Mass Effect style game, I'm down for that. As long as it's like got a decent story.
depends on
And
which one they follow.
what do you mean by that?
I think he's referring to Andromeda.
Oh, okay.
No, just in general, like which.
Andromeda was so shit. I keep forgetting that it was even a game.
I like
Uh,
Andromeda.
Wasn't a fan of it.
I mean, more like what they're are they leaning more towards the first one, maybe the second one, or are they gonna go all in on space children and bullshit like that?
I
But
mean,
that's
I
wait
don't
and
know.
see. We can't really announce that. But if it's gonna be a story more towards the way they told the third one, I would be less interested than in the first one and maybe the second one.
Well, either way, if it's a cover based third person shooter like Mass Effect, then I'll be interested. I like those type of games, so we'll just have to see. We just need more info. Like obviously a 2-minute trailer, which was like what?
Mm.
It wasn't even 30 seconds of gameplay. I think that was at the end.
Do you?
It was about 20 seconds of gameplay that we got a little teaser of. So it's not really much to go on. We need
Do you
more
think?
info.
And this isn't. I'm not saying it is, but it might be. Do you feel like it maybe that formula is a bit outdated since it is a formula of what 10, 15 years ago,
I don't.
depending on when you start counting? I don't think so, but
I don't often think that formulas go out of date. I think they fall out of focus with current demographics and things, but I don't think any game design kind of falls out of date. I think it just comes and goes. Like people said, like real-time strategies kind of fell off, but then they made a resurgence once interest was in them again, and that's not really changed since. Even
is
in the
there
old
a
days.
resurgence?
Yeah, like Age of Empires came out. There's been a couple of others.
Well, the
But
game you're playing,
but
for
they're not.
example, that was one of the biggest kickstarted games in history.
Which one?
The one you were playing earlier.
That Storm thingy.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's not a real-time strategy game.
Yeah, it is.
No, Against the Storm is not a real-time strategy game.
It's a
It's a
roguelike.
city
Am
builder.
am I thinking of a different game?
Yeah.
Maybe. Is there
This-
one
this
that's
has-
similar sounding name then? Because there is an RTS game in that same vein.
Yeah, this has zero combat in it, so it would be
Okay,
a
it's not
really
that one then.
It's not
it
that one.
would be
Then.
a really shit RTS game if if it doesn't have any combat.
What's yours called? Against the Storm?
Against the Storm, yeah.
Yeah,
Because there was another game we watched yesterday.
Yeah, what was the one we saw at the award show then? I thought it was that game. It's got a similar sounding name. It's got
Yeah, it has
Storm
Storm
in it,
in
I'm
the
sure.
title.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, I get why you might think that because if you look at the buildings and everything, it looks like an RTS, but it is very much not an RTS.
Stormgate? Was that what it was called?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, this has got to be it. They pledged 100,000 and they've got 1.2 million already. So it's 55 days still left to go.
Mhm.
Yeah, Stormgate. It's basically the next StarCraft.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but because I feel like there's there's some good games for it, but in general, I can't remember when I saw somebody that I know, like a streamer or a YouTuber, unless it's for like a first impression, actively keep on playing an RTS game in
They
years.
certainly have an audience. No, it's not.
But
It's look. I'm not saying it's a huge genre. I'm saying that there's just been a resurgence. There wasn't many. There wasn't really any RTSs being made for quite a long time, and recently we have a few of them coming out, which kind of says to me that there's a devs have kind of come back to their interest in making them.
yeah, okay, fair enough. I can accept that point.
It's basically what sells.
Yeah.
And what stopped selling was RTS because the genre got tired and outdated. The only thing holding it together was the hardcore fans.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I still
now
think it
people
is
have had
kind
so
of
much
like
time
that.
away from them, and we've had an influx of new gamers as generations have passed. Interest in a certain genre may come back around, and Stormgate is a good example of that because it's basically StarCraft 3
Yeah,
unofficially, and people are like, I haven't played an RTS in years, and I love playing RTSs. Let's go. And then new players are like, hey, I've only started gaming in the last 5 years, and I haven't really seen a really big RTS game. Let's give it a go and see what it's about.
yeah. No, I'm not saying it's not. I just personally haven't seen it. That's kind of the thing I'm making. That's why I'm questioning. Not that I don't believe you. It's just I haven't personally seen it in the people I watch and people I speak to.
Yeah. They're just not. They're not like popular stream games. That's
Yeah,
the problem with them.
yeah,
They-
yeah. Fair enough.
They're a bit too slow paced for that, I guess. Unless you're like a Korean, and you're playing StarCraft, and therefore there's a huge audience for it. But outside of that, there didn't seem to be a big audience.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like uh ironically also Microsoft Flight Sim. Like it has its audience, but it's mostly like very popular within its own thing, and it doesn't really branch out too much. Out of the ones that would branch out, it is those
I
big
feel like
ones like your Age of Empires and your Flight Sim and all of that.
well, I feel like that's a problem with sim games in general, is they've got a very niche audience.
Germans, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Actually, now that you mention it, a lot of Germans that I met online do seem to be the sim enjoyers.
No, it is like the entire like bus simulator and stuff, and that's all because Germany loves them. That they kind of became a bigger thing than they are. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but that's just that's the main. That's why Gamescom has so much simulation games as well
That's fair.
because they love that shit. Rightfully so. There's fun to be had there, except for train sim.
What's wrong with that?
Train simulator,
What is it?
bitch.
What was it? Didn't we check it up? Like, oh, here's a 1,500 euros worth of DLC.
Okay, but what's wrong with what's wrong with train sims in general though?
I
Well,
can't. I can't
oh no,
drift.
I literally meant the game train sim, not the genre in general. Well, genre is even correcting in general.
Okay.
You can't drift on them.
Yeah, I mean you
I
can,
can.
but not for long.
Drift tracks.
I've done it before, so
Multi-track
There's a game
drifting.
specifically made for that too.
yeah.
Really?
Heck, I've seen it in movies. And a Snowpiercer has a great train drift.
That's true.
I don't know about the show, but the
There was that animated Christmas movie that had a train drifting across ice that one time.
Oh yeah, that Uncanny Valley one with Tom Hanks, right?
Yeah.
Polar
I only remember it
Express.
from yeah, that's it.
So let's talk about the. I don't want to say it's the biggest game that I saw in terms of how interested I was, but I was extremely interested in the Hello Games No Man's Sky new game coming out.
Yeah, same.
Light no fire.
That's it.
I am super interested, but we need to see more of it. Again, this is another thing where we haven't got much info other than a little teaser. But
No.
the concept of it sounds very, very interesting, and
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they've learned from No Man's Sky,
Oh, they definitely will.
and that they haven't went too ambitious with this, because from what it sounds like, is that they want to make an entire planet that is where everybody's all together on it, which
Yeah, a lot of
sounds
people were calling
crazy.
for Jeff to cut the mic off because he doesn't clearly ever seem to listen.
Yeah. No, but I think they definitely like. I don't know if they're self-publishing it, but maybe with the money they have, it would be smart, considering they kind of got fucked over by well their own stuff as well, but a bit of publishing as well. But I think out of all of the trailers that Koshi posted, I think that's the one where we got to see the most, and it appealed to me the most. The only thing I don't like, but this is not a that thing. I just don't like flying mounts, so I didn't like the dragon part. But
Oh, I'm
I
about
have I
flying
have yet
mounts. I'm
I
down
have
for that.
yet to play a game where flying mounts are an improvement to the game
Well,
versus
that's the thing.
regular mounts.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like if it is a huge planet, you're probably going to need that kind of traversal. I think ground mounts won't really cut it.
But bonfires are the hot shit these days.
No, but you can't light them. It's light no fire.
Oh, true. You got me there. That is fair.
Yeah, they knew it ahead of time. They knew
Okay,
it. The
yeah,
title
yeah, yeah,
itself
yeah.
has told you they can't
Yeah,
light those
it's like,
bonfires.
bugger. I guess flying mounts it is. You're all right. You got me. I'll admit defeat.
But you're right, Koshi. I think you're right that people are saying that they should cut his mic because he doesn't know when to stop talking. But I feel that's the reason that they haven't talked about it for 5 years. Because apparently this has been in development in secret for 5 years, and now they'll finally come out and announced it. I feel like that was kind of their way of like intentionally making sure that nothing was said before they knew exactly what type of game this is going to be.
Yeah.
Like they've got it planned out. It's a concept that they know is going to work, or maybe it already is working. I mean, they've had 5 years. Who knows what they've already created at this point?
Yeah, it looks pretty well for what it is so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they really didn't show anything, which is what bothers me. Like I wanted to see some combat. I wanted to see something.
Yeah.
And all majority of the trailer was just him flying around on a dragon mount.
True. But visually, it looks fantastic. I really like the art style direction they've went with it. It's got that kind of it's got that cozy exploration feel to it.
I would agree with that.
Which is pretty much what I would expect from the people who made No Man's Sky, because it's got that kind of element to it as well.
Yeah.
It very much does look like a Hello Games made game. But like I said, like I need more info, because I really do want to know if this is this whole, like they say, the true open world MMO, or whatever the hell they were going with. Like the idea of an entire planet being generated and everybody playing on it, like that sounds like a logistical nightmare for networking, but the concept of it sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm the opposite.
What do you think?
I think it would be. I was hope the MMO part fine, but I was kind of hoping that it would be kind of more a to a certain extent a newer Minecraft where you
Oh,
just
that's Lego.
just keep making procedurally generated worlds where you can have fun in and everything like that.
That's
Don't
With
know.
all
Lego
of
for you.
those mechanics.
Well, I feel like they're gonna go with the MMO side of things because they couldn't quite nail it down for No Man's Sky like they wanted to. I think this is their attempt at making like a fully connected universe.
Oh yeah.
Not a universe, but obviously a fully connected landscape where like
Mm.
they wanted you could clearly tell that they wanted No Man's Sky to be this huge MMO type thing, and they just couldn't do it due to technical limitations.
Yeah.
I think maybe this is their attempt at maybe doing something like that with a new spin on things, with less of a sci-fi and more of this fantasy element to it.
Oh yeah. No, it's just I think so as well. It just that makes it appeal a little bit less to me. That's all. But I
Yeah.
think
What do you think?
What
Hi,
do you mean?
Seth.
Oh, hello, Seth. Oh, that's
He hasn't
Clearly, he
said
doesn't
hi,
think
hi,
anything.
hi.
anything.
Yeah.
We can't
He's
hear if you
seen all
don't
of them.
mind. Yeah, it showed flying dragons. It showed houses being built. It showed exploration. It even had like a teaser of some sort of enemy at the end with the red rocks breaking away.
Mm.
But that was like, yeah, like there was no combat shown at all, which is a bit weird.
Yeah.
I assume these are different factions of the different races that you can kind of talk to or find. I don't know. But yeah, it's an announcement trailer. It's teasing things. It's not really showing much info. We'll just have to wait and
Yeah.
see
And this, if this was a
what else is
2-day
talked
event, you
about.
could go. Well, this and the next one, you can you'll show off a bit more.
See if
And
this
now we
works.
just gotta wait.
All right, that might work. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that definitely looked out of all of them, that looked the most promising to me.
Yeah.
Mm. And
Seth.
well, I guess Monster Hunter Wilds, but that's I love Monster Hunter, so I'm sold. It's
Well,
no Monster
hold
Hunter
on. We
game.
will
Enough said.
talk about Monster Hunter Wilds, but uh, what's he saying? My mic does not feel like working. All right. Well, can you hear us at least?
Is that do Morse code?
You have to wait
Yeah,
for
you
the
can hear
carrier
us.
pigeon.
Seth, can you send me the graphic, the little picture that you use for your Discord icon, so I can slap it into the overlay?
No.
Thank you. I want to talk about the Kojima game. OD.
Go ahead.
It looked weird as hell, which I guess was exactly what you would expect from a Kojima game.
Yeah, it's
100%.
Kojima. Yeah.
It was weirdly creepy.
It's still a Kojima game. Yeah.
I'm down for it. Him making a horror game, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
down for
like
it.
I wasn't interested in Death Stranding, but this might interest me. Even though I'm not really much a fan of horror games, I think they're a bit boring for the most part.
Well, he's one of the iconic horror directors from games.
Is he?
Yeah. Didn't he? At least didn't he have a lot to do with maybe not like game directing itself, but didn't he help out a lot with visually with Silent Hill and such?
I
That was
don't
one
know.
game he worked on.
No, but didn't he kind of inspire and help kind of I guess brainstorm and everything like that?
Couldn't tell you.
Well, yeah, it was his
Mm.
game, but I'm just saying, like, he's known for Metal Gear Solid and
Yeah,
tactical
yeah, yeah, yeah,
espionage.
yeah, yeah, but
No
as
one,
well as horror.
and I mean, I guess only because of Silent Hills. That's the only game he's ever worked on that was horror.
Yeah, but it's also not like there's that many famous horror franchises. There's Silent Hill.
Really?
There's Resident Evil. I feel like
Fear?
I'm. That's the one, yeah. But maybe Stalker. Is that horror? Would you consider that horror?
I think it has horror elements, but I wouldn't call it
Yeah,
horror.
yeah. The rest is. I mean, these days it's with the popularity of visual novels and those games of Medan or something. So it's definitely coming up, but I wouldn't call them iconic franchises yet. Because when I think of iconic horror franchises in gaming, I can only really think of those three.
My brain is not working. I know there's more than that. I know there's also a ton of indie games,
Uh, I guess Evil Within,
but
but that's only 2 games. But I'm talking like actual franchises, not just like one or two good games and then never made again. There's definitely good other good. Oh, Outlast. There's Outlast. Yeah, there's those games. I forgot
only
those
the
names.
first one was really good, and the multiplayer one that's out now. The second one I heard bombed.
I guess those you have a flashlight and go and you're being followed by a thingy is are popular, but I kind of totally forgot those were a thing. So because I never played those. Yeah, I mean it's Kojima, so I'm interested, but I'm not that interested in horror games.
I know
So
he can do horror,
yeah,
so I'm interested in whatever kooky game he's coming up with now. But
Yeah.
that said, uh, my only fear is that it's going to be too weird, because with Silent Hills, he was being reined in. He's one of those idea men who someone needs to tell you when to stop, and now that he owns his own company, it's like, well, there's no one to tell him to stop. Look at Death
uh,
Stranding. I mean, Death Stranding wasn't a bad game by any means, but it wasn't exactly, the Phantom Pain either.
no, but I feel like the biggest fear was that he's kind of like Chris, what's his face from
Chris
Starfield?
Roberts.
Because that's the accusation people kept like, oh, he's a perfectionist and he never, he just keeps delaying and keeps going on. And that was at least the big Kojima, not Konami thing that they laid against him. But then he delivered Death Stranding
Hello.
working on time. Hello, I've got a heart attack. He lives.
He lives.
All right, it's working now. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to come and say hi. I hope you guys are having a great podcast.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you
Um.
watch the
We're the
Game Awards at all yesterday?
Yeah. Did you watch it?
I did not. I was gonna look up the
Ooh.
what happened and then talk about it on stream here in a little bit when I start my stream.
All right. Well, you can
Nice.
talk about it right now. You're on the podcast. Talk about it right now. Fuck your stream.
Fuck my stream.
Ooh.
I agree. I'm just playing Minecraft and Fortnite today, so
Oh, you're playing Lego?
yeah, playing Legos.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what's odd? It's oddly satisfying about it is I'm more excited to play that than I ever was Minecraft or any other survival game in the world because I'm a huge
Well,
Lego
they're
fan.
calling
So
it like Minecraft too. That it
yeah.
has potential to be like the next big Minecraft game.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
And from what
it's
I
just
saw, it
genius
looked like it.
marketing. I mean, it looks satisfying to me. That's
It
why I love
does.
putting together Legos. So even when you're tearing down a tree or something like that, and the little blue thing starts to echo through it, the lines or whatever, it just like looks satisfying to destroy shit. It looks satisfying to build crap. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I watched it for 4 hours yesterday. I couldn't believe I watched it that long.
that's what people wanted from Lego Worlds originally, where it's like, and then they kind
Yeah.
of fucked it. But yeah, oh, definitely. Like, there's definitely if they nail it, I think there's a lot of people that have been dying for a game like that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, my guess is that this is their attempt to revive the original Fortnite PvE mode, because that kind of like died once Fortnite's multiplayer, like the BR mode, kind of became the big thing. So they just abandoned it. So I'm thinking maybe this is this Lego thing is their attempt to bring that part of Fortnite back into the spotlight.
Yeah.
So you asked me a question about my thoughts. I just looked at the results.
Mhm.
Game of the year. I'm not surprised that it's Baldur's Gate 3.
Nobody was. Not a single person was surprised that it was Game of the Year.
Players' voices in Baldur's Gate 3. I'm not surprised either. The game has captured a lot of people from a character standpoint.
I think Baldur's Gate sweeped the award show. To be honest, it was a total wash.
Cyberpunk for best ongoing game to me seems a little awkward.
Wild. Yeah, me and Koshi were freaking out about that last night when we.
I mean, the expansion obviously had great reviews and has gone over extremely well, but it's been one thing. That's it. I don't know why you're saying
it's not a live service game. So what the hell? Why would you say it's an ongoing game?
Can I have a conspiracy theory about this?
Yeah.
I think. Well, it's not really conspiracy. I think that's kind of the only thing where they got to show it some love, because in the other ones, it kind of, it wasn't gonna win anyway. So this is kind of the one where it's like, yeah, come on, it deserves at least a little bit of reward for the help they put in, and I think this is the only one where it kind of fit.
It didn't fit though. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, but this is the one that they,
The other nominations,
because it wasn't going to be Game of the Year or
honest.
anything like that.
The other the things it was like up against were at least were more part of the category that it was in, but Fortnite should have won that. Like Fortnite is what was the other ones? Apex, which kind of fell off after a while. Not many people are still playing that. I mean, there's still an audience there, obviously, but what was the other one? There was something else.
It is. I've got you right here. It's Cyberpunk, Fortnite, Final Fantasy,
Final Fantasy,
Impact, and Apex Legends.
Yeah, Apex. I wouldn't even say Final Fantasy 14 was great, because the latest patches have kind of been a bit rocky.
Fortnite or Genshin Impact to me should have been.
Genshin is dead. Honkai Star Rail has killed that game, which is funny because they're from the same developers. But if anything, Honkai Star Rail should have been in the nominations instead of Genshin for that, I feel like.
But it's a mobile game. Genshin you can play on PC.
You can play Honkai on the PC as well.
Oh, can you?
Yeah. It's
literally that one best mobile game. So
it's but you can play all the kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure you can play Honkai on the PC anyway. I can download it on Epic. So it's definitely somewhere on the PC. But
I have no idea. It's the first time.
Genshin's basically dead, and Fortnite just came off the back of its OG stuff so it's had a huge resurgence in popularity, as well as
you had over 2
that,
million plus players playing Fortnite.
Yeah, even before the OG stuff, stuff had just come off the integration from the Unreal Engine, so people have been making all the player made content.
And they're getting paid. I can't believe it. There was one map I heard that some guy got paid $4 million for the map that he created, or the game that he created.
That is wild.
It's insane. Yeah,
I'm in the wrong job.
Right?
Yeah, Fortnite should have won that. I don't know why Cyberpunk won that. Fortnite should have swept that one easy.
That's my biggest surprise of the evening for sure.
And I'm not even like a Fortnite fanboy or anything. Like, I just know that.
No.
Logically speaking, that should have won it. It was the most popular game by far.
Best adaptation being The Last of Us. I can't say I'm really surprised about that. I really thought Mario might win that.
I think as much as I enjoyed the Mario movie, it was a Mario movie, but it wasn't an adaptation, so to speak.
Well, it was an adaptation of the game.
Was it though?
I mean,
yeah, I just didn't know.
Had the characters in, but it was a movie structure. Whereas The Last of Us was
how is that different from Last of Us?
Because The Last of Us was basically a live action version of everything that happens.
T to T.
Yeah, it's basically a live action of pretty much everything that happens in the game.
Yeah, and Mario was a CGI live action of everything that happens in the game.
No.
Was it not?
No.
No?
No.
All right, I guess not.
Well, I'm gonna keep going here quickly.
great, though. I enjoyed
Multiplayer.
them both.
I mean, Baldur's Gate running through basically the rest of anything that's a major category here. I mean that. It's not. It kind of surprises me, but not really as much love as that game has gotten over the last several months. I mean, it doesn't surprise me they ran away with most of the awards. Esports game being Valorant. I thought Valorant was kind of dead, even though I enjoy playing it.
I was
Yeah.
surprised about that one too.
Yeah.
League of Legends, I thought would probably win that because that game still
No.
is pulling in numbers, but
No, it's
and
League of
some-
Legends. At least the esports scene has died in the recent couple of years. It's still there,
I don't know about that.
it's not got the numbers it used to have. There's been a lot of internal drama and splittings and like other stuff that's gone on. That's kind of like they've dropped them into a bit of a dip right now, but it wouldn't have won
Which could
that
easily be
award.
fixed by a new game, like say,
Well, no, because then it would
League
be
of Legends too.
yeah.
a new game
Just
from Riot.
drop a new
Wouldn't change
arcane
anything about
thingy.
League of Legends, though.
What? Say that again?
You're saying about like League of Legends, the esports scene.
No, I'm
Why-
talking about esports in general.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about
You
League of
said
Legends.
esports was dying, was starting
Yeah,
to slow
but he
down,
meant
right?
he meant for League of Legends.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Oh, well, he
specifically
needs to
League of
say
Legends.
that, be
I did.
specific.
Well, he was talking about League of Legends, so it was.
Well, yeah,
kinda
but he was
confusing.
also talking about a lot of other shit too at the same
Oh my
time. It's
God.
like
Here he goes
you need
again.
to be specific about what you're talking.
Here he
See,
goes again.
Anyway,
Anyway.
what's next step? Yeah.
Epic Games for Studio Game Direction, followed by Remedy Entertainment. Those two both surprised me, but it's both for Alan Wake 2, which also has had extremely good reviews and nothing but good things coming back from that. So
Coach was supposed to
not
come
a
in his
huge
pants the
surprise
entire
here.
night with Alan Wake winning so much.
I'm surprised that Zelda only won action adventure. Super Mario Brothers Wonder, which I've heard is not that good, is winning family game. So
I
mean,
am
I
not actually surprised if Zelda only winning one.
I thought they
I
just won
am.
Game of the Year because
Really?
they were nominated. Yeah, I just assumed. Anytime a Zelda game is nominated for Game of the Year, they just win Game of the Year. So going up against any game, I just always picked that. That's what I figured. I would have put my house mortgage on it. I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah, well,
I'm
think about
surprised
that.
at that.
Think about that. A Zelda, a full-on Zelda game was released, and Baldur's Gate 3 by an indie company beat it. Think
Yep.
about that.
yeah, by
Surprised me.
some dirty Belgians.
Fucking French, I tell you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. As much as we've discussed this before. As much as Tears of the Kingdom is a great game, I don't feel it changed enough to make itself separate from
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild.
It's more of the same, which isn't bad, but
Yeah, like it's
not enough to
bad, but
win.
it's
it's
exactly
not groundbreaking.
yeah.
Nothing that's not groundbreaking. Like when Breath of the Wild came out, it was new.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like holy shit. But then this is basically Breath of the Wild too. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
all right. Well, that's all I got. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your podcast. I wish I could join you, but I'm gonna go build some Legos.
I'm
All
cool
right,
with them
have fun.
actually.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to build Legos with me, hit me up. You're more than welcome to
I
join.
would love
Yoshi
to build
will,
Legos, but
Yoshi
I
will
don't have any.
Well, I mean in game, but build some Lego houses, farm some Lego stuff.
He has
My
to
statement
buy
still
some
stands.
V-Bucks to buy bricks.
Much love, guys. Have a good rest of your podcast.
Have a good weekend as well. Toodles.
Yeah.
So the Legos thing is already out. I thought we were just announcing it was. a
I
thing.
don't know, to be honest. I thought they were just announcing it too.
Yeah. Oh well, I guess it's already out then. If he's a way to play it.
Maybe a beta or something like that. I said Fortnite, so I didn't look at it.
I'll load it up later and see what's happening with that.
What the dealio is.
What the crack is.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all that Tears of the Kingdom didn't win more.
I am.
I'm surprised it won anything. And I
No,
and
I
do.
assumed it would have won something.
I figured it would have won Best RPG or.
Nah.
I mean, Baldur's Gate 3. I'm going to be real here. The biggest praises I've seen for the game is it has no microtransactions and that the game works. And I
Then
agree
you-
with that. It was a good game. It was a good game. It deserved everything it got. I'm not against it. I liked the game. I played it, put a lot of hours into it. That said, the story was not gripping. It was not like I was on the edge of my seat playing it. And whereas Legend of Zelda felt more epic, felt more. Usually, I haven't played this one, but usually Zelda games in general feel more epic. They feel more rewarding as you progress through the game and unlock new features, unlock new. I'm gonna die. Unlock new whatever. Whatever helps enhance your character, skills, weapons, whatever. And a lot of people were praising the whole gimmick of the, I guess you could call it the God Hand. I don't know what it was called in game, but where you're able to physically manipulate the physics. Nothing like that was in Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate had great acting. It had a decent story. It worked for the most part, despite the fact that it fucked me over twice. And it was a very deep game, and it had no microtransactions. But none of those, except for the voice acting, which was outstanding, by the way.
Yeah. I mean,
Other than the voice acting, none of those trump a Zelda game, unless it's like a one-off, like for your Game Boy Advance or something. So yeah,
See,
to me, it was
I disagree.
surprised to see that Zelda was only nominated in a couple of categories, and it only won in one of those.
I see what was nominated for Game of the Year, and I think like Baldur's Gate stood out. The rest were good games, but they weren't Baldur's Gate. It was kind of like the rest is, not to put points on it, but just for the example, the rest is a 9 and Baldur's or an 8, and the rest and Baldur's Gate was like a 10. To compare like quality wise and everything like that.
Real quick, Funky, did you
Mhm.
ever finish Baldur's Gate by chance?
Not yet,
Okay, just curious.
but I think it's more for Baldur's Gate. It is as kind of just how in depth it was and everything like that. It is and I mean time will tell, of course, but I feel like because Zelda was just Legend of Zelda to what was the Breath of the Wild Part 2.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think Baldur's Gate is kind of
Fresh and new.
out of those. It's kind of the way you like to say it, the game of a generation. It is the best RPG that has come out in easily a decade. And I think the only one, because it was so unique, is the only one that I thought I didn't expect it to win, but the only one that I thought could win it because it was so beloved by journalists, and because it was so unique was Alan Wake, because that is also kind of a one of a kind game. Like
I think
you're
what did
not
that in
gonna
though
Mm,
was the fact that it's a niche game.
yeah. And the rest, I think if Breath of the Wild, if it was Breath of the Wild versus Baldur's Gate, then I think we would have had a different discussion. But because this was just like
See,
more of Breath of the Wild,
here's my theory on why Koshi wanted Tears of the Kingdom to win instead of Baldur's Gate for RPG. Because the more awards that take away from Baldur's Gate, that means that Alan Wake would have had more awards than the rest.
yeah.
You figured me out.
He just
You figured me out.
It's his little long card. He just wants more awards to chip away at Baldur's Gate so that Alan Wake comes out on top.
So Alan Wake is the game of a generation versus Baldur's Gate.
Look,
We figured
Alan
it
Wake-
out. It was aside from, I think, the big win, Game of the Year, wasn't Baldur's Gate on 4 and Alan Wake was on 3?
Correct.
Baldur's Gate is on 5.
Yeah, with Game of the Year. But I'm saying excluding Game of the Year, it was
Yeah,
4
it was
versus
3 to 4, and then Baldur's Gate won Game of the Year, which made it 3 to 5.
Yeah.
The two things I wanted Alan Wake to win was Game of the year because I think it's Remedy's. I think it was Remedy's best game they ever put out, and I think they need some recognition. Yeah, they get it from the journalists, they get it from the so-called reviewers, but I can't still help but watch as like streamers were watching like the the live performance by Poets of the Fall playing Herald of Darkness, and people are like, "What the fuck is this? What did I tune into? This is bullshit. Get this shit out of here." And it's like it's a shame because Remedy does things with music that rarely other companies do. They use music not just to help tell the story, like say Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, but they use music as a whole nother character. And it's something that a lot of companies don't do, no matter how good their music is. It's just something they put over the scene to give the scene more emotion. Here, Remedy was actually using it as another character. And I thought that was something super special. And they've done it once, they've done it twice, they've done it 3 times now that I can count off the top of my head.
See,
And that's why I felt, my point is, I felt they should have won for best game music. Not just because of the music they were playing, but because of the way they used the music in the
but
game, and they didn't.
Koshi,
No, Koshi left.
counter. No,
This is Alan Wake now.
okay, yeah, whatever. That's even worse. But wouldn't you say that
What does
is
that mean?
no, no? I'm just kidding. Doesn't that mean that would be being able to mix all of that in? Wouldn't that mean that is the best game direction, which is what they want to be able to put that music and make it work within the game and make it feel like a character that isn't that the game direction?
Yes.
Yeah, but they had a
This
separate
day
score
one.
they had a separate thing for that too. But there's a distinct difference between the direction and the music because it's not because the music being a character only works if the music itself is really good. If you enjoy the music, if you find yourself nodding along or singing along, or that it lasts with you, and you end up going out and buying the OST. And they did that. They Poets of the Fall got a lot of new fans because of that. But still, it's like what music in general was like the big thing with Alan Wake, and it was the one thing that they didn't win. And that broke my heart a little.
I mean,
That broke my heart a little.
yeah, that's. I mean,
I would rather have them win that than Game of the Year.
I can see that, but I think music was one of those where, at least for me, I think there wasn't a bad choice. Like they kind of all deserve, because, like you say, music, hi-fi, which is the one I kind of thought would take it because that is what Alan Wake does with music, but even better because it's literally a gameplay mechanic and everything like that. So that's the one I was kind of expecting to win score and music, but like looking at it, there's like Final Fantasy that's the one that won, but that's they have yet to have a bad soundtrack for Final Fantasy. Zelda is always amazing. Hi-Fi Rush, I mean, like just with your case, it uses music and makes it part of the game. Baldur's Gate, ever since Original Sins, and they've been able to hire Borislav Slavanov. He's an amazing and highly underrated composer, so rightfully nominated. Alan Wake, for everything you said, is nominated, so I feel like, to me, whoever won here was a deserved winner. But
Yeah,
I
I
see your
agree.
point.
That's why I wasn't so mad
I see your
about
point. Yeah.
Game of the Year because
Mm.
as much as I wanted Alan Wake to win, Baldur's Gate did deserve it, and
Yeah.
I can't be mad at that. I liked the game. I'm not against them.
Yeah.
So they did deserve the
You
win,
just
and it's
want.
good on Larian. I'm happy for them, but
Yeah.
I personally wanted Alan Wake to get it.
Yeah. I think the problem with Alan Wake, and this is a very not so much personal for me, but like we said before, it is one of those games you either love or hate, and because it is one of those niche games, for starter, a lot of people are not even gonna. They just
Yeah,
look at it like you say and just like, what the fuck is this, and tune out. And like, I watched you play that. I You posted some of the Prophet songs, I'm not that into them. They have good stuff and everything. I'm just the vocalist isn't for me. That doesn't make it a good or a bad thing, but it just doesn't vibe with me. So that's kind of already a detractor for me as well. So for me, it doesn't make that what made it special for you would have already not made it special for me. Even not that I'm not a and this isn't me hating on Remedy. I'm not a fan of Remedy because just their games don't appeal to me. There's nothing wrong with them. I wish them nothing but the best of luck, and I do think that Alan Wake winning best art direction and all of that, and winning 3 of the awards means it did get kind of its due.
The only thing I heard is you have bad taste.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know.
I want to. So, right at the beginning of the award show, we had the little. We had a little dig at Call of Duty, which was
Yeah.
hilarious. And so I was
Yeah.
not expecting that at all. But Christopher Jones basically stood up on stage and said that his acceptance speech last year was longer than Modern Warfare 3's campaign. And
I would agree with that.
and most people agree, but the Call of Duty devs are pissed, and they've been on Twitter talking all sorts of mad
for
shit.
fuck's sake.
All sorts of mad shit about it. It's just
Have they really?
so funny. Yeah, there's a couple of them that's come out. There's one that says responded to IGN's thing that's saying it was funny, and it was funny, but yeah, the metrics that Call of Duty absolutely destroys all of the God of War games, probably combined, to be honest, is also equally laughable, if not more.
Just learn to take a joke. Jesus fucking Christ.
Someone's mad.
Someone says, imagine having short user engagement once your game is consumed. Can't relate. Motherfucker, it's a single player game. What do you mean? Of course it's going to drop off after it's been fucking consumed. That's the whole point of a single player game.
Yeah.
You're making a live service game which is struggling.
And the point is to keep engagement. There's literally
Stupid motherfuckers.
It's like, hey, here's a book. Oh, you've read it. Well, want to stick around for what the fuck? It's a book. I've read it. Like, if I really, really like it, maybe or a movie. Like, movie is done. End of story. If I really like it, maybe I'll watch it again later. If I'm just satisfied, yeah, I've had fun. Goodbye. See you never again.
It's so dumb. Like,
yeah, take the L. Just you're making a fool of yourself.
Obviously, you go onto the Twitter comments and it's just everybody roasting the shit out of these devs that have come out with these silly tweets.
Yeah, it's stone deaf. Just sometimes it's better to just shut up, even if you feel offended by that or something, which they shouldn't, because it's a fucking joke. Like
it's joke, but there is an element of truth to it. It is a fucking short campaign, and like the Call of Duty player base. Yeah, the Call of Duty player base, even before this was said, was already fucking on their ass about how crap the campaign is.
Yeah, but that's the point I was gonna make. Like, it's not like they haven't heard this before. This has literally been a criticism for years, and especially with this edition. So them pretending like, oh my god, somebody made a joke about our campaign being short, even though they've been making jokes about the campaigns being short for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
And even months. Like, oh, but it's because it was on the awards. Now it's okay to complain about it, even though I just feel like it's an excuse for them to bitch and moan when it's a complaint that has been, like you say, has been going on for years already.
Someone's replied with great metric and then posted a picture of the Steam review, which is mostly negative.
Make a Vanguard too and see how well that sells.
Call of Duty, so dumb. It was a funny joke, but I wasn't expecting Christopher Judge to just right off the bat, like there was no like lead up there. He just came right out with it.
Oh yeah, he has
at the start of the show. What a way to open it!
Like he's very respectful, but when he also has like zero shits given attitude.
That
It's
was
great. It's like,
fantastic. I
oh,
loved
I'm
it.
really happy for you. But if he's like, oh, time to dig it, time to give a little dig, he's not afraid to do that either. In
You
a
don't fuck with
jokey way.
Teal. You don't
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
with Teal.
yeah.
Oh, that was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was.
See, Yoshi, I'm gonna give you one that didn't win, but I felt like Alan Wake should have won. Is audio design.
I would agree with that. I don't even remember that
Hi-Fi Rush
category
one,
coming
which
up.
is Hi-Fi Rush one, which is the one
Oh yeah,
I.
well yeah, Hi-Fi Rush was pretty good though.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the
Hi-Fi
one where
Rush
I'm
was
like, I'm not afraid
entirely
that it
music
won. I can
based.
see it, but
That,
yeah,
that was like a literally music based game. So it
yeah,
had to
Yeah.
have,
yeah,
it had to win something audio related, surely.
yeah.
But it would have been strange if it didn't, because I'd never played it, but I heard a lot of buzz about it when it came out, and people were like praising it and saying it was a fantastic game. So
Yeah.
like, I'm not
So
surprised
let
it
me ask
won
you guys a
at least one
question.
of them.
Let me pose the big question that was going around the Game Awards show before the airing.
What?
Mhm.
Should Dave have been allowed to be indie game nominated for indie game?
Dave the Diver? No.
No, I don't think so.
And what makes your reason for being so?
They are backed by a large company.
Okay. And Funky?
Same. I also feel like even though with the EA indie thing, if a and this is not to say they don't make good games because they clearly have, but what was it? Takes Two or something like that shouldn't be. I believe that's from their indie thingy. That shouldn't be nominated for an indie game as well because if you have EA backing, it's not really an indie game anymore.
All right, so let me pose a question then. Why did nobody care or raise concerns or questions about Kojima when Death Stranding was coming out?
Was that
Because his
nominated for
entire game
indie?
was funded by Sony. His
Was
entire
that
game was backed by Sony, even though he's an independent company.
was that nominated for indie?
Uh-huh.
Okay, no, that's
I don't know.
bullshit too.
I don't remember that, but I would agree that would be bullshit. Yeah.
Because nobody really brought up a stink about it, but when Dave came out, people were. And I'm not trying to say anyone's right or wrong. We all have our reasons why. I've heard people say, well, if you have like 200 people working for your your company, that's not indie. I don't agree with that. I mean, Larian
Oh,
is completely indie,
yeah.
and they had like 200 plus
Yeah, they
people
have
working in their
a
company.
fair amount of. They're an
Right.
indie company, but they are a decent sized one.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they became a decent side ones
I mean,
for
they had to
Baldur's Gate.
kickstart for one
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
yeah,
Holy
but
shit! You can
that's
jump on cars.
yeah,
What?
that's
Sorry, go
for
ahead.
Original Sin 1 and 2, and they weren't well, they were a somewhat decent sized after Original Sin 1 they became relatively decent sized, but literally if Original Sin didn't get funded and or the kickstarting wasn't that promising and it failed, the studio would have closed because that was their last gamble.
Yeah.
And that worked out. And then with that success came Original Sin 2, and that
That was even
because of
bigger.
Kickstarter again, that was even bigger. And because of them, that got them the contract for
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate because they tried that before but didn't get it. And that just meant they had the name and they just had to go bigger and better. And then they started really hiring a lot of people and opening different studios. So it's only because of Baldur's Gate 3 that they're the size that they are. And they've said that they're probably
Oh, so
at least gameplay wise they're gonna shrink down again.
they
They
were
want to make a smaller
chasing
game again.
Baldur's Gate for a while then.
They wanted it after Original Sin 1, they put in a request to get it. That got denied. Then the immense success and praise that Original Sin 2 got whoever's in charge for the D&D license got back and like, so yeah, about that you wanted to have that license, maybe we can work something out. And then people, which was already discredited, even devs discredited, where they try to make it to go on to the indie thing. They try to make it seem like, well, you got massive amounts of backing, and they assume because they have the license from D&D just gave them like buckets of money. It's like, no, they are literally self-funded.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had investors and everything like that, but they didn't get money from D&D or anything like that. In fact, they had to pay him for the license to make the game. So,
Yeah.
And they still had a kickstart.
Yeah.
Before it went early
no,
access.
early access, yes,
But they still
not.
kickstarted it.
Did they kickstart it?
Yeah, that's what I was
No.
told.
I thought it was early
Well,
access, just straight to
either way,
early access. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
that's a really nice story then, that they
Yeah.
basically got something that they wanted to make out of a passion for it, and then it ended
Yeah,
up being
after almost
huge.
being bankrupt.
Yeah, and
After
then
being almost having your studio closed.
yeah, so they chased after something. They went the long haul for it. They got it, and then ended up making a tremendously good game out of it.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, they did. Yeah,
that's fucking awesome to hear.
and that's why you. That reflects also in the game that they are, and it's with movies and it's whatever. When you see somebody that gets handed a source material and they really, really care about it,
Yeah.
you get good stuff. Just look, I mean, Koshi hasn't seen it, and I don't believe you've seen it as well. But just look at the Denis Villeneuve new Dune one. Like you can clearly tell, even just from the trailers, that he cares about the source material. And really think he made a good adaptation or not, that's something different. But you can clearly tell, like, he cares about it. He cares about the details. He cares about the world, how it looks, how it is. He's passionate about it, and that helps bring it. And the benefit of games is you really feel it within the game, just like you feel it within Alan Wake, that they were really passionate about their project as well. And I would say Hi-Fi Rush as well, even though I haven't played those two games, but I look at them and I can see the passion and the vision that they had for it, and they made exactly what they wanted to make, and that's always to be praised.
Yeah. Quick side note, quick side rant before we move on to talk about the Monster Hunter reveal. Best sports racing, Forza Motorsport. If that was not paid by Microsoft to win that fucking award, I will eat my hat. There is no fucking reason why that should have won that award. The contenders against it were so much better. Motorsport has been in the racing community. Motorsport is it's not a terrible game, but it's not a fantastic game either.
It's not a terrible game. That's what it should have said right on the box.
It's not a terrible game.
It launched shitty, but
it launched shit.
They kind of always do.
They did a few fixes. It's still lacking a few features from what I hear. Like, it was up against the Crew Motorfest, and Motorfest should have absolutely won that by a long mile. Motorfest has been widely praised, even with its flaws.
But see, I think, and I have no evidence for this, but I just think the Crew isn't as popular because the first two weren't as highly regarded. So that's more the Crew. You read the Crew and you move on and you don't even give it a look, kind of thing. I think that's what worked against it.
I think, personally, the judges hadn't fucking played any of the games and thought, well, Forza Motorsport, that one's the big Microsoft one, that must be the good one, right? And they just went with that.
I think, having played neither of them,
I'd be very interested to see what the user, like the audience voting was for that category, and what the judges went with.
I think it's partially. I think it's. If I were to guess, it would have probably been. Well, obviously it was Forza Motorsport, F1, maybe Sports FC, and then the Crew. Mainly just because I think people that don't know racing or anything like that, they go just, oh yeah, Forza, I know that one. and that one doesn't have or F1. It's like, oh, and that's not by EA, so no microtransaction bullshit. Even though there is, but they kind of just general. So that's why they pick that as people that haven't played any of them, because we voted on stuff that we haven't played as well, like the VR one. None of us, or was that the Steam one? I don't remember, but you know, we've I think some of the indie ones where I was like, I haven't played any of these, but this one looks the best, so I just guessed what looked the best. So I think that's why, and I think even though Motorfest is the better game, I think it has
Hands down, it's a better
lesser
game.
appeal. Yeah.
Hands down, it's a better game.
Versus,
It should have absolutely won that category without
what
without
about
any.
Hot Wheels?
No, just no. As fun as that game seems to be, it's like no, it should that wouldn't have won, and I don't think Motorsport should have won that. I think Motorfest got robbed from that one.
I think Motorfest or F1, to be honest.
I
'Cause
personally can't say because I have not seen either. So
yeah,
I,
same. Oh,
I
I've
have
seen.
not played
I
either,
think I haven't
so I
played
have
it,
no
but
pony in this race.
I think
No.
Motorsport is just that's the biggest name in there.
Exactly, which
So
is
it's like
why I
because
think
people don't want to give it to FIFA.
which is why
So
I
I feel
think
like
Microsoft slid a little bit of money across under the table to get
I don't think so. I
Motorsport on
think
there.
I just think it's people that don't play sports game going, oh yeah, Motorsport. No,
Yeah,
there we go.
you're probably right,
That's
but it's not.
probably the best
But
one.
it's not as
Mhm.
funny as
But it's not
my
as
theory.
sexy. It's not as sexy as a yeah. But then you would think EA would give money as well. With all of the
EA
money they
don't give a
make for
shit.
yeah. Have they ever when's the last time they won something? Oh, probably for the Star Wars thingy.
I don't know. Unbound was dog shit though.
What? Which one?
Need for Speed Unbound.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't even know that. Well, is that? I thought it was just a regular game. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to have a little rant about that
Yeah.
because I'm pissed that Motorfest didn't win it. So yeah, let's end on talking about Monster Hunter Wilds. I know Koshi isn't hugely into it, but I am hyped as hell for this to come out. It's
Same.
I mean, it's basically Monster Hunter World,
Yeah.
the new version instead of
The only thing that sucks is that it's gonna come to console again first.
yeah.
How I feel about GTA.
True. Hopefully, we don't have to wait as long though.
Oh, last time I think it was but this is Switch. But they did. I think they at some point said like the next one is gonna be a big PC. So I'm assuming they're kind of working on. But for Rise, I think it was 6 months later or something like that. Maybe six. Maybe it got delayed a little bit in 8 months. So I
I have
think it's
no idea.
probably around there where it will launch summer for consoles and then like around Christmas for PC. If unless it turns out to be trickier than it is. But I think they learned a lot from World, so I think they're building up on that success. So I think it would be easier this time.
I
But
like
who knows?
that it's going to be fully open instead of like little sectioned maps by the look
I'm
by the look of
yeah.
things. So it's going to be like a big open area that you run around in.
I
And
hope
hunt
they don't
monsters.
make it too open worldy.
Well, I imagine
Yes.
it's going to be there'll be probably designated areas where you'll find
Yeah,
specific
yeah.
big monsters, and you fight the littler ones just out in
Yeah,
anywhere.
no, but the benefit of having it more smaller is that I don't need to if let's say the frost in the desert and you gotta load everything in, but you're gonna hunt a monster only in the desert area. You're kind of loading a lot of extra stuff in there that has no use. That's kind of
Well, we'll see how they. I mean, you might be
yeah.
right, but maybe they'll they'll have a workaround
I
for
think
that.
I
Maybe
think
it'll.
zones would be fun though, where
Yeah,
it is like world where you have just specific zones. That makes the most sense because that's kind of how it's always been.
yeah. Just on a
Yeah,
grander scale, maybe.
yeah.
But yeah,
I just
I'm hyped for Wilds. I'm definitely gonna be playing that, and I
yeah,
assume
yeah.
that we as a group will probably play it, even if if we have to drag Koshi along with us.
Uh,
Although he did say that he enjoyed the initial part of playing Monster Hunter. It's just the grinding afterwards that he wasn't into.
yeah,
Which I can understand.
yeah. That's a lot of people.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like that's probably what most people feel
Yeah.
like when it comes to those type of games. I don't mind it because I don't like hardcore the game. I just kind of
Mm.
like I don't mind going in and fighting the bosses if I've got like something I'm fixated on, like a certain outfit
yeah. Like for me,
or an event going on. I don't mind like sending a bit of time in.
how I've always treated it after kind of like the story stuff is just like it's a bit like how I used to play Destiny and all that. It's just I'll load in I'll play like maybe one or two dungeons, have some fun with it for like an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then log off again and maybe not log in again for like a day or two, and then hop in again and then play, fight another monster and have a little bit of fun, turn it off again and play on. So it's super casual in that it's kind of like a game that keeps installed, and I technically I guess I play a lot but not a lot at the same time. It's one of those yeah, daily routine kind of games, I guess.
Yeah, I can't do
Which
those.
is
The daily routine thing just makes it feel like it's a job.
oh yeah, no, but I mean like it's one of those games where not like MMO where you have to do it, but it's just like, oh yeah, I feel like something actiony. Let me just boot up Monster Hunter World real quick, fight one or two bosses or monsters, have some fun with it, maybe collect some stuff. All right, I've had my fix. Then you go play something else, maybe your main game or something like that. But it's always that game that kind of stays like you with a motors. Well, now with motorsport, of course, you're loving, but with a driving game where you would log in every so often, even though you've maybe done everything like that, but you just like the racing in it. So
Yeah.
every now and then you come back to it. That's kind of how what Monster Hunter is for me.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. But when was it coming out? Wasn't it like fucking
2025.
2025, yeah.
yeah? And that's the console release, so it's gonna be a while before we can play it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I
No,
am
I'm not.
I am hyped to get back into playing a bit of Monster Hunter and jumping onto the side of monsters and with my bow and planting an explosive and blowing the hell out of them. That's
See, the
always fun.
benefit is in the meantime we have Dragon's Dogma to kind of give us at least a little bit of that, because you can also jump on top of them there. Unless that's been delayed to 2020. I will.
Yeah, do we know any information on when that's going to be
I
released?
think isn't that next year or something?
March
Oh.
22.
Yeah.
All right.
I would not be
that's
surprised if
not
it
too
gets
far away
delayed
then.
a little bit, but I am expecting it next year.
Yeah, March 22.
Like if they say, "Oh, sorry, we have to push it back to August," I would not be surprised, but I am definitely expecting it around there.
I hope they don't push it to August. March would be a good point because that's not too far away at least.
Yeah, well, if it needs it, it needs it. But what they've been showing, it seems like a lot of this, it's just polishing and a bit of extra stuff, probably.
I am super interested in playing that though. I really, really did want to get into the first game, but I just couldn't. It was too dated.
Yeah, I can see that. It's definitely when I played it, it's definitely with the member berries on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those games that has. I wish it did better back in the day, so that people would steal the combat, because that's what truly makes the game. It is the combat is like the skills and everything is they're just kind of, they're not bad, but they're serviceable.
Yeah.
But it's the jumping on the dragons and everything, setting griffins on fire so they stay on the ground so you can cut them a bit more and all of that. That's why Dragon's Dogma is beloved.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else that we want to slide in?
I got one thing I want to
Any
slide in.
any closing thoughts that we want to say before we wrap it up?
Otherwise, no, not really. I think that covers about everything that I had.
Yeah.
Last Doctor Who episode this Sunday.
Saturday. Well, I guess it'd be Sunday for you.
Because yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. That's it.
All right. Yeah. So a bunch of games that are not coming out for a while and or have little teasers and show nothing. So bit of a letdown overall, but I'm kind of I'm hyped for what the future holds. Hopefully some good
Oh,
games.
one more thing.
Okay.
I'm glad that at least as Belgian / Dutchy are bringing back armor as a casual wear, as it should be.
Yeah, because that didn't look awkward at all.
No, of course not.
Oh, that just
We're
reminded me.
used to.
There was a mecha game that looked like Gundam. I can't remember the name of it, but that looked cool to me.
Ooh.
Uh,
No, I think that's a
I'll be keeping an eye on that
PlayStation
one.
trailer or something. Yeah.
I'll be keeping an eye on that one.
I
That
haven't
looked like some high paced Gundam-y rocket firing action. So
Oh, yeah.
pretty cool.
Also, Against the Storm is out in 1.0 now, so go play it.
No.
How dare you?
Anyway, yep, that's us done for today. So peace out.
Yeah.
We'll see you in
Toodles.
a couple of weeks, I imagine,
Mhm.
where we'll have probably nothing to talk about because nothing's really happening.
Yeah. I mean,
We'll talk about Doctor
they-
Who. We'll
yeah.
talk about Doctor
yeah,
Who. We'll have
and how much of a smashing hit the day before is.
yeah. Well, that's true. Actually, we need to let that cook for a little bit. We'll let that simmer in the
Yeah.
pan just a little bit
Well,
longer.
that's on
We'll
the
We'll have a
quote-unquote
good
next
session for that
episode.
one. That is
Yeah.
definitely on the next episode. Fucking Christ, that game. All right, peace out, everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah,
We'll see you next time.
Toodles.